Have you ever wondered what separates a pretty good story from one that's truly unforgettable? Well, it's not some kind of magic, it's a blueprint. And today we're going to break down the 5-stage framework that secretly powers the narratives you just can't stop thinking about. So let's ask that question. What is it that makes a story really truly stick with you? I mean, is it the clever plot twists? The awesome characters? And yeah, sure, those things are super important. But the real secret? It lies in something much deeper. It's the emotional journey the story takes you on. And there it is. The answer is a masterfully designed emotional journey. What you're looking at here is the entire blueprint. It's a 5-stage structure from what's called isolation all the way to resolution that carefully guides the audience's feelings from the very beginning to the very end. So let's walk through it together. The key here is to stop thinking about your story as just a flat timeline of events. Instead, you need to see it as a dynamic emotional curve. As the storyteller, your job is to become the architect of this curve, to deliberately guide your audience through every single peak and every single valley. So where does a journey like this even begin? Well, believe it or not, almost every great story starts from the exact same place, a state of isolation. I like to think of this as the before picture. It's where we first meet our character, in their normal, everyday world. This stage is all about establishing their baseline, who they are before the real journey kicks off and changes them forever. And for you writers, this is the absolute key takeaway. Your main goal here is to intentionally, carefully craft the audience's first impression. Are they a hero, an anti-hero, maybe an underdog? If you get this part right, the audience is going to follow them anywhere. This is the foundation for everything that's about to come. Okay, so from that quiet starting point, we dive headfirst into the real heart of the conflict. Stages 2 and 3, condensation and expansion, are this incredibly powerful duo that work together to escalate the tension and drive the story forward. And here's the cool part. The tension builds on 2 fronts at the exact same time. Condensation, that's the internal pressure cooker, the character's self-doubt, their moral dilemmas, all that simmering anger. And at the exact same time, you've got expansion, which is the external fire. The stakes in the real world get higher, people start to notice, and the problem physically gets bigger. And this visual just captures that shift perfectly, doesn't it? Just look at the character's expression. On the left, in condensation, all that pressure is internal. You can practically see the turmoil brewing behind his eyes. But then on the right, in expansion, that pressure has turned outward. The conflict is now external. It's visible to the entire world. You put these 2 stages together, and that's it. That's the core engine of your story's second act. They build directly on that foundation we laid in the isolation stage, and they just relentlessly push the narrative toward its breaking point. And all that buildup brings us to the grand finale. The last 2 stages are where we get the story's powerful climax and its deeply satisfying conclusion. Get ready, because this is the payoff.
Stage 4 is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. The explosion.
This is the climax. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. All that internal and external pressure that's been building and building, it finally erupts. It's that moment the hero finally confronts the villain, or the big secret is finally revealed. The character just can't hold it in anymore. So, to put it simply, the explosion is the ultimate emotional payoff. It's that one moment the entire narrative has been building towards, where all that pent-up tension is finally, completely released. Of course, after every explosion, there's always the quiet aftermath. And that's where we enter the final stage, resolution. Now, sometimes this word is translated as digestion, which I think is perfect, because this is where we, the audience, get to process and find meaning in everything that just went down. This is where the dust finally settles. It's a moment for both the character and the audience to just take a breath and reflect on the journey. It's that final scene that shows us the new normal, and it proves that the events of the story actually mattered and have created lasting change.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's that as a creator, you are not just a writer. You're an architect of experience. Your job is to literally design the audience's pace.
And this final insight is just so powerful. The audience instinctively, intuitively follows this emotional structure. And that means their very breathing, their heart rate, their sense of pacing, it is all in your hands. You are literally conducting their emotional experience from start to finish. Now, this isn't about some rigid, cookie-cutter formula. It's about creating a precise yet totally natural design, a journey that feels completely organic and real to the audience, even though every single step has been intentionally crafted by you. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about for your own projects. Take a look at the story you want to tell and ask yourself, what emotional curve is it drawing?